Hey there, fellow parents and guardians. Welcome back to the channel. Or if this is your first time here, grab a coffee, sit down, and let's have a real talk about something every single one of us has done. Probably more times than we want to admit. Picture this. It's a chaotic Tuesday morning. The toast is burning, the dog is stealing socks, your 5-year-old is treating the living room like a racetrack, and you've already asked, politely, 3 times for shoes to go on. Sweetie, shoes on, please. Nothing. Hey, buddy, shoes. Still nothing. So what do most of us do? We crank up the volume. Suddenly, your voice goes from normal mom-dad tone to full-on stadium announcer. I said shoes on right now. And boom, shoes appear like magic. Crisis averted for the next 5 minutes. We've all been there, right? In busy mornings, grocery stores with melting ice cream, or that heart-stopping second when your toddler is about to touch a hot stove. Raising your voice feels like the fastest, most effective tool in the parenting toolbox. It cuts through the distraction like a foghorn in thick fog. It signals urgency, and in the moment, it works. Kids stop what they're doing, look up, and actually listen. Your brain logs it as effective strategy achieved, high five to survival mode. That's why it becomes so common. When you're running on 3 hours of sleep, juggling work emails, and trying to get everyone out the door before the school bus honks, who has time for a calm, patient TED Talk? Yelling feels necessary, it feels human, and short-term, it delivers results. But here's where our story takes a turn, because what feels like a superpower in the heat of the moment can quietly start rewriting the entire rulebook of how you and your child communicate. Today, we're unpacking exactly why yelling might be doing more long-term damage than we realize, even though it feels so right in the moment. We'll laugh at some painfully relatable moments, because if we can't laugh at ourselves, what's the point? Look at what's really happening inside our kids' heads, and, most importantly, walk away with practical, calmer ways to get the same cooperation without turning into a human siren. Stick with me. By the end of this 15-minute chat, you'll have tools that actually build better listening habits instead of just louder voices. Let's be honest, the reason we keep yelling is simple. It works. At first. The louder, more intense tone grabs attention instantly. Behavior stops. Instruction gets followed. Parent wins. But over time, something sneaky happens. What used to be an emergency signal becomes normal. Your serious voice loses its punch. So you have to go louder, then louder still. It's like the yelling economy is experiencing inflation. Your voice keeps losing value, and you have to spend more of it to get the same result. Now let's flip the camera and look through your child's eyes. Kids aren't mini adults with perfect emotional regulation. Their brains are still wiring up how to read tone, context, and intention. When you yell, a lot of them don't hear the actual words first. They feel the emotional intensity. It's like their brain lights up with bright red flashing lights. Alert! Big feelings happening! So even if you're saying something perfectly reasonable like, "We don't throw toys," the message gets drowned out by the delivery. The behavior might stop in the moment, but the deeper "why" behind it? That often doesn't land. They're too busy managing the surprise or the fear or the overwhelm. And here's where it gets really interesting, and a little heartbreaking. Kids adapt to this pattern in 3 classic ways, and none of them are ideal long-term. First, you've got the compliant kid. They snap to attention like little soldiers the second the volume rises. On the surface, it looks great, quick cooperation. But dig a little deeper and you realize they're not listening because they understand the rule. They're listening because they want the uncomfortable feeling to stop. It's compliance driven by avoidance, not real understanding. So the second you're not around or the volume isn't cranked, the behavior sneaks right back. Then there's the resistant kid. This one pushes back, hard. They focus less on the instruction and more on the unfairness of being yelled at. Suddenly you're in a full volume argument about tone instead of shoes. Communication stops being about the behavior and turns into a power struggle. Fun times. And don't forget the tune-out kid. Repeated exposure to high volume makes them desensitize. It's like living next to a train track. You stop hearing the trains. Pretty soon your kid has developed selective hearing that would make a teenager jealous. Now you're forced to escalate even more just to be heard, and the whole cycle spins faster. On top of all that, kids are master copycats. They learn communication the same way they learn everything else, by watching us. When yelling becomes the go-to way to express urgency or frustration at home, guess what shows up in sibling fights, on the playground, or when they're talking to you? That's right, mini versions of your stadium voice. Not because they're bad kids, but because it's the familiar strategy they've seen work. And parents? We don't yell in a vacuum. Stress, exhaustion, work deadlines, the never-ending mental load of keeping tiny humans alive, it all chips away at our patience. In those low-capacity moments, raising our voice isn't usually about being a bad parent. It's about running on empty. Understanding that takes away the guilt and lets us focus on small changes instead of self-criticism. If this is hitting a little too close to home and you're nodding along thinking, "Yep, that's my house," do me a huge favor right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We're in this parenting journey together, and I drop new videos every week to help us all do it a little better. It only takes 2 seconds, and it means the world to the channel. Thank you. Now we reach the peak of the problem, the moment the cycle becomes unsustainable. You've trained everyone's ears to only respond at volume 11. Your normal voice is background noise. The house feels tense instead of connected. And one day, you catch yourself in the middle of a full-volume announcement that would be perfect for a sold-out sports arena, only for your child to look up calmly and say, "What?" as if you'd been whispering the whole time. That single "what" is the climax. It's the hilarious yet painful proof that yelling has lost its power. You've escalated so much that the urgency signal is broken. The relationship starts feeling reactive instead of respectful. Kids learn that big emotions equal big volume instead of learning how to handle feelings calmly. And slowly, the beautiful, trusting connection you want with your child gets buried under layers of noise. So what do we do about it? The good news is we don't have to become perfect Zen masters overnight. We just need to separate urgency from volume, and there are simple, practical ways to do exactly that. First, try proximity and eye contact instead of projection. Walk over, get down to their level, touch their shoulder gently, look them in the eyes, and use a firm but calm tone. It feels weirdly powerful because kids associate that close, steady presence with, "This is important." No yelling required. Second, set expectations in advance. Instead of waiting for the chaos and then exploding, have a quick family meeting or use visual charts. In this house, when I say shoes on, we move within 30 seconds, no yelling needed. When rules are clear and predictable, the need for emergency volume drops dramatically. Third, sprinkle in humor when things start escalating. Next time you feel the yell rising, try an exaggerated silly voice or turn it into a game. "I'm about to turn into a dinosaur if shoes don't appear in 5, 4, 3. Kids laugh, tension breaks, and cooperation often follows without the drama. And yes, there will still be true safety moments when a loud voice is 100% appropriate. Running into the street, touching something hot, etc. Those rare moments keep their power precisely because they're not your everyday default. Over time, as you reduce the yelling, something magical happens. Communication becomes clearer. Kids actually process the message instead of just reacting to the emotion. The house feels calmer and more connected. You model healthy ways to express urgency. And best of all, your relationship shifts from reactive power struggles to respectful teamwork. You've got this. Small changes today create big differences tomorrow. The goal isn't a perfectly silent household. It's a home where voices have meaning again, where kids learn through understanding instead of fear, and where you feel proud of how you're showing up even on the hardest days. If today's video gave you even one practical idea or made you feel a little less alone in the yelling struggle, do 3 quick things for me. Smash that like button. Drop a comment below with your funniest "I can't believe I just yelled that" story. I read every single one. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss the next video. We're building a community of parents who are choosing connection over volume, one calmer day at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. You're doing better than you think. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and remember, a steady voice beats a loud one every single time. Bye for now.